I don't believe that we ever read to the camera this essay called Duties of a Democratic Republic's Citizenry. We're reading now from the version found in A Readable Reader. Maybe it's the last version that we did. No, not sure. If you have the good fortune to live in a representative democracy, you should work with your fellow citizens to keep an eye on the rulers of your land. Sure, engage in the policy debates of your day, but don't let those debates and the oft-accompanying excitations and divisions separate you from your most fundamental duty, serving as a final check on madness and corruption in government. To the degree we let our leaders sacrifice good government, open, honest, fair, without favoritism or bias, following the laws, rules, and protocols, or bias, I think there should be another comma there, open, honest, fair, without favoritism or bias, comma, following the laws, rules, and protocols, for political expediency, to the degree we let our leaders sacrifice good government for political expediency, we let corruption and madness into the system. What is corruption? Indifference to the basic rules of right thought and action, which are awareness, clarity, honesty, accuracy, competency, selflessness, kindness, generous, fearless, overflowing joyfulness. What is madness? Incompetency as regards those same basic rules. So we define corruption as indifference to the universal values and madness as incompetency as regards to universal values. That is a good definition. We came up with that. It must have been. Corruption and madness encourage each other, are interrelated, and generally go hand in hand. To the degree madness and corruption rule, it is easier to succeed and or gain and keep power while being bad, i.e. dishonest, underhanded, cruel, foolish, selfish, arrogant, incompetent, clueless, and harder to succeed and or gain and keep power while being good, honest, transparent, wise, kind, selfless, humble, competent, aware. Interesting that we include competence as good, as a moral good. But we did here. To the degree we let madness and corruption in, we let folly rule. To that degree we harm ourselves and others. I think to the degree madness and corruption rule, it is easier to get power while doing bad things. That is what it is in a corrupt state. You succeed by doing things that are harmful to everyone, and ultimately even yourself. And in the less corrupt state, because these are things of degrees, then personal success and what's best for personal souls and everyone else, individual souls and everyone else, coincide. That's why a non-corrupted like the less corrupt state is, the better it is spiritually for everybody, and we should all work for that. That's in a different essay, and we need to go back to this one. Madness and corruption in either an individual's conscious space or within a group or organization. You notice that? We did that. That's like a Plato move. I'm going to do it again. Madness and corruption in either an individual's conscious space or within a group or organization is when decisions come not from clear, honest, informed, accurate, competent, kind, thoughtful consideration, but rather from confused, dishonest, clueless, incompetent, cruel, mindless violence. It's maybe sometimes kind of fun, and now this is important, because I think we got a lot of people who kind of want to think that just being powerful is all cool and badass, and thuggery is kind of hip. We're making an important point right here. I want you to listen up. It's maybe sometimes kind of fun to watch movies about gangsters and rulers weaving their way through corrupt states. But it is neither fun nor helpful to live under such conditions. And it is beyond reckless to let politicians reduce the openness, honesty, accuracy, clarity, competence, and goodwill in our government. Yeah, thuggery is actually boring and lame. And they don't govern well because they're not trying to govern well. They're just trying to keep power and shove everybody else's face in the dirt all the time. And there's nothing new about that in human history. We want to do something exciting, like order, beauty, democratic republics. They're all the same, in quotes. There is no perfection. Then our rebuttal is, there is no perfection, but there are better and worse directions. And if we are not consciously engaged in gently pushing towards the better, then we are sliding towards the worse and or risking chaos, which is itself a worse, and out of which generally arises a much worse. Out of chaos comes usually trouble, because finally order has to be imposed, and it's usually a mean, violent, cruel order. And the next thing is in quotes too. It's all the other side's fault. Okay, then stop talking to them. That will help us to all better fulfill our shared responsibility to our shared nation. And then in parentheses we said, no, it won't. That was sarcasm. Not sure if one can use that in a serious essay. Maybe it's okay now that we've clarified that it is not meant seriously, but rather to point out the hopelessness of taking it seriously / at face value. Blame may not be divided equally in all conflicts. Republicans, I'm looking at you. You're making the most trouble right now. Yes, you are. But when does shutting yourself off from a sizable portion of a shared democracy ever help the situation? And here, with this, we're looking at everybody. It's hard right now. It's hard. It's hard to just pushing things too far. And this is the part. Next part is in quotes, but still, come on. We're all people here. The history and or structure of this nation is such that it cannot but destroy itself, and that's what it deserves anyway. That's also in quotes. And then we rebut that also. Wait, at least from this merely human vantage, there's no a priori knowable rule for the way history must unfold. You know, we saw communism trying to be like, this is how history has to happen. We saw other dangerous philosophies doing that. And we're pointing out that nobody knows how history is supposed to unfold. And if this ship sinks, we all go down with it, drowning in the same old stupid, boring vortex of cruel chaoses, birthing cruel orders, birthing cruel chaoses, ... So let's work together to acknowledge where we've been, where we are, and where we want to go, and to simultaneously seek a newer world together. I mean, the lights begin to twinkle from the rocks, the long day wanes, the slow moon climbs, the deep moans round with many voices. Come, my friends, 'tis not too late to seek a newer world. Oh. That would have been a good place to end it, but it's not quite over. There's only one hope. Let wisdom rule. And we all know what wisdom looks like. Aware, honest, clear, competent, accurate, kind, selfless, sharing joy, knowing how to help and putting that knowledge into action. Let's think, speak, act, and vote accordingly. This public service announcement paid for by the Community for a Better USA. Come on, let's succeed. Together, for real, from the inside out. And again, this refrain, everything in its place. We don't need to agree on worldviews to agree that none of our worldviews mean anything to any of us in the absence of clarity. Honesty. Honesty! You can't vote for Donald Trump because he's lying all the time. And we need honesty in our system. And you can't support him and cover up for his lies and think that things are going to go well. Honesty is critical to a democratic republic. And yeah, people fudge, but his behavior is off the charts as far as honesty goes, and it's not good. Anyway, honesty, accuracy, competence, kindness, and shared joy. Editor's note, the lights begin to twinkle. See Alfred Lloyd Tennyson's Ulysses, written in 1838 and published 1842 in the second collection of poems.